Hey everybody, Pete Hendrix, Hendrix Classics. So we had a visit from a couple, a delightful couple, not long ago, and the husband had questions, and also brought questions from some of his buddies, and the questions revolved around, how do you do what you do? How do you make soap? How do you deal with the lye. One question was whether or not the aloe we use saponifies, and this video is going to cover a lot of them. And the way it's going to cover it, lye is very, very dangerous, and we're very careful around it, and you have to go to a lot of trouble to make sure it's not going to cause problems for the customers. And so I'm going to do a voiceover on a lye calculator that we use, and it's going to answer a lot of questions. I'll keep the intro short because I want the video to be short, and the meat of it is going to, it goes into some detail. So let's go take a look at Soap Making Friend, which is our lye calculator. So the software I referred to earlier is Soap Making Friend, and this is a lye calculator, and so you'll see how a lot is determined here. So I put together a sample so that you wouldn't have to watch me enter everything. And so when I click on edit, this is the screen that you see when you start a new recipe. Okay, and we get here, you choose what kind of soap it's going to be. This will be a hybrid using both potassium hydroxide and sodium hydroxide. Those are the two different kinds of lyes. And we use 3565. Then coming down here, you put the amount of oils that the recipe will have. And why this software is so critical is you don't want to have your soap have unprocessed lye in it, because it will burn the heck out of folks. And so you tell it exactly how much oils you're going to include, because what saponification is the reaction between lye and oils and fats and butters. Okay, so here you have the lye concentration. That's going to be the amount of water, and you can adjust this. The way we make soap, once it's ready, you have a limited amount of time before it gets too hard to put into the containers. And so you can increase the water, and that will add a little bit of the time, but you don't want to increase it if you don't need to, because then that's more water to evaporate. Superfat, in addition to the exact amount of oils and butters, you also add 5% of something that's good for the skin, and that you add that at the end, and so it doesn't saponify, and it's what stays behind to maybe help out your skin a little bit. It's not a whole lot of help, but it's some, and it allows a little margin of error in case all of the lye doesn't saponify. So here now this is not a recipe that would make good shave soap. I just made this up. So you enter your various oils and butters and the percent, and it needs to add up to 100. Shave soap will almost always, at least for us, have 5% castor oil. That adds some really important properties. Come down here, select your various custom additives. On the question about whether or not the aloe that we use saponifies, I don't think it does, because saponification is the interaction between the lye and the butters and fats. But you enter everything into the soap calculator, because lye is so dangerous, you just don't mess around with it. Sodium lactate, we add that at the end. It helps the pourability. Bentonite clay adds to the slickness, and we know how much of that. And then the glycerin, we add a little bit of that as well. You come on down through here, and any other things like beer, coconut milk, goat's milk, all that stuff, you would add that there. And then the amount of fragrance oil, we use 9% at the moment, or we have for several years, which is the equivalent of 1.45 ounces per pound. And that's it. Over here, you're going to see some things. You'll see, actually, the next screen is going to show what we want to see. So we save, and then print. And this is what would actually print. This is the recipe. It tells you the exact amount of water. We purchase 200x freeze-dried aloe, which we could get the liquid, but we get the freeze-dried, which is $300 for 2.2 pounds. But it's the best in the world as far as I can find. So the liquid's going to be 35.96. We add the appropriate amount of aloe to that. Then here's how much lye you're going to use. The best practices in manufacturing are to weigh everything, not measure, always weigh. And so that's what we do, especially with the lye. So it tells you how much of each of those. It reminds you of how the oil weight, the fragrance weight, the total batch weight won't be exactly that, but it'll be close. And you come on down through here, and here are your oils, fats, and waxes. Right here, it tells you exactly how much to add. You get down here to the custom additives. It tells you exactly that. It tells you exactly how much fragrance to use. And so this is your recipe. And the way we're going to do this is, first you're going to measure everything, and into a pot that's going to go on the heating plate is going to be all of your fats and oils and waxes. We don't use waxes in our shave soap. And you start heating it, and then you mix your water and aloe, and then add the lye, and it gets really hot, and so it has to cool. So when everything is at the appropriate temp, you pour that lye water, the reconstituted aloe juice with the lye in it, you pour that into the oils, and then it begins cooking. And man, we stir the heck out of it. We've got a relatively heavy-duty drill with a stirring attachment on it, and I'm here to tell you we wear it out. And after you do it, you can tell when the soap is probably ready. We use the pH strips for this. We use the plastic ones. They're more accurate. There's not a really good way to measure what the pH of the soap is, and we don't need to know the exact pH. We just need to know that the pH is low enough so that all of the lye has saponified to the needed level. And so we then add the things that go at the end, which are going to be probably the sodium lactate and the fragrance. We then stir the heck out of it further, and then it's ready to pour into the containers. So I am more than happy to do these kind of videos. If there's a question you have, let me know. I'm not hard to find, and we will take care of it. Get that video made for you. Thank you so much.